I just want to come in here. You know, Mr. Alobi, you made an important point, and of course you just touched on it about the interagency rivalry. Now, I want to go a step further. We've talked so much about the DSS, because of course we're talking about internal intelligence, right? But we also know that this has an international dimension. This has been verified across the board, not just from our military, but from international militaries. With that said, we know that the NIA is responsible for conducting and connecting and communicating international intelligence and coordinating that with DSS. Now, if the NSA's office is responsible for coordinating not just internal intelligence, but also external intelligence, is there some sort of failure at that very key point where all of these agencies are interconnected and where these messages are being sent to the various authorities that they need to be sent to?
Of course, you see, there is, like I said, this interagency rivalry. What is the relationship between the NSA, who is the coordinator in charge of all the agencies, with other service chiefs? Are they in good terms? You read in the papers, you've seen what happened between several agencies. And this definitely will affect the operational capacity and capabilities of the agencies in discharge of their responsibilities.
That's true. We read in the papers
Exactly.
a certain rivalry between the office of the NSA and the office of the DSS, for instance. And there is
between the SS, EFCC, between police and the army, you know.
You see, they should have a common vision. And that common vision should also be, there'll be drive their actions. Common thought, common vision, common action. If they all know that this is what we want to achieve, because they're serving the same country, the same government, the same Nigerian citizens, and they have also the common objective, the security of this country. So I think, like I said, that lacuna, intelligence sharing it is not mandatory, like I said, to give to the operator from the source. No, you have to pass it to that channel to maybe authority, before the authority now could direct, government direct, which is not supposed to be so.
There seems to be a bit of a trend here, because I can say that I've spoken to a Nigerian army general off camera who informed me that where they needed the assistance of the air chief and air staff, they have not received it. In fact, they've received more assistance from the Air Force of neighboring countries than they had received from the Nigerian Air Force. And when operations were successfully conducted, the Nigerian Air Force took the credit for it. Can you give us a sense that, look, if this is a trend we're seeing, not just operationally, but also in terms of intelligence gathering, at what point is the commander-in-chief now responsible for ensuring that not only are these issues addressed, but that the right personnel are in place to oversee these critical operations? Mr. Alobi?
Yeah, you see, the commander-in-chief is the commander-in-chief. All service chiefs, the IG reports to him. Of course, the NSA is also there and so forth. But the point is, who are the actors, the operational, who act on ground, who are on ground, who normally supposed to operate, who carry out the action when it occurs. Look at, for instance, the issue in George, like your colleague was asking the Commissioner of Information in Plateau, said, was it that there was no information before then? There must have been, if, like in every local government, there should be exercise, there should be police intelligence, military intelligence there. Because that is intelligence-driven is key today in the security. And they should share intelligence. And then also the citizens themselves should also give information to the various agencies. If this collaboration between the security agencies and the citizens in terms of information gathering and intelligence sharing, I think this problem will be addressed.
Mr. Ejiofor?
Yes, at the local level, like you said, you have the SSS officer in charge of local government, you have a DPO. It transcends to the state, where you have the Commissioner of Police, you have the Director of SSS. While I was in the service, I tried as much as possible to create a forum between myself and the Commissioner of Police. Police is statutorily charged with maintenance of internal security. Now we have this forum. We invite all the divisional police officers, invite all the security chiefs in the local government. We have a forum where issues in the various local governments are discussed, positions adopted, and we see this is how we should go about it. So the issue of bureaucracy that you have to inform the headquarters for is not there. I relate directly with the Commissioner of Police. This is the information. I can only inform my national headquarters of the action I've taken for records. So it's not as if you must inform the headquarters before you come back to say no. But I believe that we still need to strengthen the relationship between the agencies so that they can work together. I'll give you an instance. A house that is divided against itself can never stay together. You see the problems going on now, maybe a little diversion in APC, the federal government control APC. There's so much confusion.
Mr.
So
Ejiofor,
it
I have
transcends
to
even
interrupt
to
you. I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you. We have to take a break now. When we return, we'll be talking about policing and how it needs to change. Because what we've seen now is that there are going to be lots of checkpoints along the road. But we understand the attackers are coming from behind the hills. Who's going to police the hills? In a moment, please stay with us. We have with us in the studio Mr. Mike Ejiofor, who is the former director of the DSS, and also Mr. Lawrence Alobi, who is a former commissioner of police here in the FCT. And it's our closing moments with them. Gentlemen, we know what is going to happen right now. We've seen this happen over and over again. And one of the reasons why a lot of people will be worried is because, you know, they're wondering how many more must happen before we finally take action, before we finally get it right. We know we're going to see the deployment of checkpoints, increased checkpoints along the road because of this particular. But people were saying, these people say that they're coming from behind the hills. What do you think we can do to ensure that we're able to reassure the people who have left their communities owing to this crisis that they can indeed go back and all will be well? Mr. Alobi.
You see, what we are suffering in this country today because the police have been neglected. You see, policing is not just give orders or maybe deploy manpower. You need to empower them in terms of equipment, in terms of funding, in terms of allowances, in terms of holistically. And you know, crime is dynamic, and also operational strategy has to be dynamic too. You see, the point is that the police have been neglected. Insofar as the police have been neglected, Nigeria will continue to suffer insecurity.
You believe that the police as it is can actually still, I mean, what I mean
if
is the federal police.
Yes, if they empower the police.
Work.
They empower the police. For instance, like I said earlier, there are about 220 area commands in this country. About 1,400 police divisions. Some divisions don't have more than 2 vehicles. A division had not less than 10, 15 vehicles. We have only 3 helicopters in the country. Like talk about the commander in Safe Haven was saying that they came from the hills. We're supposed to have aerial patrol. Aerial patrol should be helicopter to monitor, also to be reinforced with Air Force. But the police themselves don't have this equipment. How do you want them to perform?
Big question, Mr. Ejiofor. How do you think it can end? I mean, he's already cited, you know, infrastructural challenges for even the operatives who are supposed to work.
Well, you see, one, if you don't manage the little you have, you cannot manage a bigger one. I commended the Inspector General of Police when he made a statement that he was going to withdraw over 150,000 policemen attached to politicians and VIPs. This is a substantial number from the over less than 500,000 policemen. You have 150,000 deployed to this. And we're talking of insufficiency of the. Let the people be on ground first. Let them be on ground first before we know whether they're effective or not. Manage the little resources you have before you start talking of asking for bigger ones. For now, we are not getting results. We are not getting results from all the agencies because this thing cannot continue. This bloodletting cannot continue. It's very, very sad and worrisome. It's disturbing. Let us identify, first of all, they will now start looking up for solutions. Let us identify the cause of the problem.
That's definitely a place to leave it. I think we're all agreed on the fact that the killings must stop. Gentlemen, we have to thank you for coming on Sunrise Daily. Mr. Mike Ejiofor is a former director with the state, with the SSS, and we also had Mr. Lawrence Alobi, who is a former commissioner of police here in the FCT. Sunrise Daily continues in just a moment, or right now with Chamberlain and my colleagues in Lagos.